I, Dr. Simon Arden, 41, believed my 19-year marriage was an unshakable fortress of trust. For nearly 2 decades, I lived in that sweet delusion. Until one evening, I heard her laugh. My wife, Marta, in our kitchen, whispering into the phone, "Derek, you're terrible. What if Simon finds out?" In that instant, my world flipped. Could I have been so blind? Her new perfume, the sudden late nights, hotel receipts tucked into her purse, it all crashed down on me in mere days. And as I pieced these fragments together, she, my Marta, hummed a tune, brewing my morning coffee, utterly oblivious that her carefully constructed world was about to crumble. Before I do, take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if this story earns it. Drop your city and your local time in the comments. I like knowing who's out there. Hey there and welcome to the Magic Snail channel. This is where we share real-life stories about people dealing with all kinds of situations. Some are funny, some are messy, and some are downright unbelievable. If you like hearing stories that feel real and keep you curious, you'll feel right at home here. So, go ahead, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want more. We've got plenty of stories waiting for you. All that's left of him is a rented Hyundai. My marriage was built on trust, like a Jenga tower. Looks solid until someone's drunk enough to pull the wrong block. I'm Dr. Simon Arden, 41 years old, and I teach forensic law at Northwestern University. Most people think that makes me boring. They're right mostly. What they don't realize is that boring people notice everything. Take last Tuesday. I'm grading papers in my home office when I hear Marta on the phone in the kitchen. My wife of 19 years talking in that honey-sweet voice she reserves for clients at her advertising agency. Except it's 10:30 at night and she's giggling like a teenager. "Derek, you're terrible," she whispers, thinking I can't hear. What if Simon finds out? Derek Graham, her business partner, 34, drives a restored 1977 Mustang and has the kind of confidence that comes from never being told no. I've met him at company parties, the type who calls everyone buddy and slaps backs like he's running for mayor. The giggling stops when I walk into the kitchen for coffee. Marta's face shifts into that practice smile she uses when pitching campaigns to difficult clients. "Just work stuff, honey," she says, ending the call. "Derek's having issues with the Morrison account." I nod, pour my coffee, and go back to my office. But something's bothering me. The Morrison account closed 3 months ago. I remember because Marta complained about Derek screwing up the presentation. Over the next few days, I start paying attention. Really paying attention. Marta's working late more often. She's bought new lingerie, expensive stuff from boutiques downtown, not the department store basics she usually favors. She started wearing perfume to the office, a musky scent that makes me think of hotel rooms. The real kicker comes on Friday. I'm cleaning up after our neighbor's barbecue when I overhear Claudia Martinez, Marta's best friend since college, talking to Victoria, Marta's sister. "I still can't believe she's actually doing it," Claudia says, whine making her voice loose. "I mean, Derek's hot and all, but Simon's a good guy." Victoria laughs, the bitter sound she makes when discussing other people's happiness. "Please. Simon's about as exciting as watching paint dry. At least Derek knows how to show a woman a good time. Did you see that hotel suite he booked last weekend? $2,000 a night." My coffee mug slips from my hand, shattering on the patio stones. Both women turn, but I'm already walking away, my mind processing what I've just heard like evidence in a courtroom. That night, I search the house while Marta's in the shower. In her purse, I find a receipt from the Fairmont Hotel. Room service for 2 champagne strawberries. The date matches last Saturday when she claimed to be at a marketing conference in Milwaukee. I sit in my office staring at the receipt and something cold settles in my chest. Not heartbreak, that would come later. This is the feeling I get when I'm reviewing a case and realize the defendant has been lying from the beginning. It's the moment when sympathy turns to strategy. My phone buzzes. Text message from an unknown number. Wrong phone, beautiful. Can't wait for tomorrow night. I look at the phone in my hand. It's Marta's. She grabbed mine by mistake when she went upstairs. The walls of my marriage don't just have cracks anymore. They're about to come crashing down. The next morning, I wake up with the clarity that comes from accepting an ugly truth. Marta is cheating. Derek's an arrogant fool. And I'm the boring husband who's supposed to quietly disappear into the background while they play out their romance. Except I'm not that kind of boring. I teach forensic law. I know how to gather evidence, build cases, and destroy testimony. More importantly, I know how to be patient. Emotional reactions lead to mistakes, and I can't afford mistakes. Marta's already gone when I get downstairs. Early meeting, according to the note on the counter. I call in sick to the university, something I've done maybe 3 times in 15 years, and settle in for some real detective work. First stop, Derek's social media. The man's an open book, posting constantly about his car, his workouts, his expensive dinners. I scroll through weeks of photos, looking for patterns there. Last Saturday, a picture of champagne glasses at sunset tagged at the Fairmont Hotel. The timestamp matches the receipt in Marta's purse exactly. Next, I drive to Marta's office building and park across the street. I feel ridiculous, like some private investigator in a bad movie, but I need to see them together. I need to know how deep this goes. I don't have to wait long. At 11:30, Derek's Mustang pulls up to the building entrance. Marta comes out, and even from 50 yards away, I can see the way she moves toward him, hips swaying, smile bright. She leans through the passenger window for what looks like a quick conversation, but her hand lingers on his arm longer than necessary. They drive off together. I follow, keeping my distance, feeling both foolish and furious. They go to Enzo, an upscale Italian place downtown. Through the window, I watch them share a bottle of wine, lean across the table toward each other, touch hands like teenagers on a first date. Derek's doing most of the talking, gesturing with his hands, making Marta laugh. I take pictures with my phone, not for any legal reason. Illinois is a no-fault divorce state, but because I want evidence of their carelessness, evidence I can use later. When they leave the restaurant, Derek's hand is on the small of Marta's back, guiding her toward his car. They're so absorbed in each other that they don't notice me following them to the Fairmont Hotel. I park in the garage and take the elevator to the lobby, arriving just in time to see them disappearing into another elevator, Derek's arm around Marta's waist. The floor indicator shows they're going to the 15th floor. I wait in the lobby for 2 hours reading a newspaper and nursing overpriced coffee. When they finally come down, Marta's hair is different, messier, like she's been running her fingers through it. Derek's shirt is wrinkled. They don't see me as they walk past, too busy whispering to each other and laughing. I follow them outside and watch Derek kiss my wife goodbye in broad daylight right there on Michigan Avenue, like they're the only 2 people in the world. That's when the plan starts forming in my mind. Not revenge exactly, something more surgical. They want to act like I don't exist. Fine. But they're about to learn that the boring husband they've been ignoring knows a few things about consequences. I drive home and spend the evening researching Derek Graham. Social media, professional history, public records. The man's an open book, and what I read makes me smile for the first time in days. Derek's married, has been for 6 years to a woman named Patricia, who happens to be a silent partner in Marta's advertising agency. She's also the daughter of the agency's biggest client, a construction company that accounts for about 30% of their annual revenue. This is going to be easier than I thought. Monday morning, I'm back to my normal routine. Coffee, newspaper, kiss goodbye from my cheating wife. Except now I'm playing a different game. And Marta doesn't know the rules have changed. How was your weekend? I ask. She gathers her things for work. Quiet, she says without looking at me. Just caught up on some reading. That's nice. I was thinking we should have Derek and his wife over for dinner sometime. Patricia, right? I'd love to meet her. Marta freezes, her hand halfway to her car keys. Why would you want to do that? Well, Derek's your business partner. Seems like we should be more social with your colleagues. I smile innocently. Unless there's some reason that would be awkward. No, of course not, she says quickly. We're not really that kind of friends. What kind of friends are you? The question hangs in the air between us. Marta's face goes through several expressions. Confusion, irritation, something that might be fear. The professional kind. Simon, don't be weird. She leaves without kissing me goodbye. Something that would have hurt last week. Today, it just confirms what I already know. I wait an hour, then call the university to cancel my morning classes. Time for phase 2. I drive to Derek's neighborhood, an upscale development north of the city where the houses have circular driveways and 3-car garages. Derek's address was easy to find. He's listed as Patricia's husband on the construction company's website. The house is impressive, all glass and steel angles with Derek's Mustang parked prominently in the driveway like a trophy. I park down the street and wait. At noon, Patricia Graham emerges from the house. She's attractive in a polished way. Blonde hair, expensive workout clothes. The kind of woman who lunches at country clubs and chairs charity committees. She gets into a white BMW and drives off. I follow her to an upscale gym, then to a coffee shop where she meets 2 other women who look like they stepped out of a magazine. I take a seat at a nearby table and listen. Can't believe Derek's working so much lately. Patricia is saying he's never home anymore. Men and their careers. One of her friends replies. At least he's ambitious. I suppose, though I did find a hotel receipt in his jacket pocket last week. The Fairmont. He claimed it was for a client meeting. But what? Well, it was for a suite and there was champagne on the bill. What kind of client meeting involves champagne? The friends exchange glances. I lean closer, pretending to read my newspaper. You don't think he's one of them starts? I don't know what to think. Patricia says he's been different lately. Secretive. And he's been spending a lot of time with that woman from work. Which woman? Marta something. She's married too, but Derek talks about her constantly. How smart she is. How creative. It's nauseating. I finish my coffee and leave. My mind racing. Patricia's already suspicious. She just needs a little push in the right direction. That evening, I create a fake email account and send Patricia a simple message. Your husband and Marta Arden are having an affair. Fairmont Hotel, room 1547, Tuesdays and Fridays. Thought you should know. A friend. I don't expect her to believe it immediately, but doubt once planted has a way of growing. The next day, I'm teaching my advanced evidence class when my phone buzzes. Text from Marta. Working late tonight? Don't wait up. It's Tuesday. Of course she is. I dismiss class early and drive to the Fairmont. Sure enough, Derek's Mustang is in the parking garage. I take the elevator to the 15th floor and walk down the hallway until I find room 1547. I don't knock. Instead, I call the hotel's front desk from my cell phone. Yes, I'm concerned about a possible gas leak on the 15th floor, I tell the clerk. I'm smelling something strange near room 1547. You might want to evacuate that area as a precaution. 20 minutes later, a hotel employee is knocking on the door, explaining about the gas leak and asking guests to evacuate immediately. I'm positioned at the end of the hallway with my phone ready. The door opens and Derek emerges first, looking annoyed and disheveled. His shirt is unbuttoned, his hair messed. Behind him comes Marta, trying to smooth down her dress, her lipstick smeared. I get it all on video. The guilty looks, the way they avoid eye contact with the hotel employee, Derek's protective hand on Marta's back as they hurry toward the elevator. But the real prize comes as they're waiting for the elevator. Patricia Graham steps out of the elevator they're about to enter. The look on Derek's face is priceless. Pure panic, like a deer caught in headlights. Marta goes pale, realizing immediately who this woman must be. Derek. Patricia's voice is ice cold. What are you doing here? Patricia, I can explain with her. Patricia's gaze shifts to Marta, taking in the disheveled appearance the obvious guilt. You're the woman from the office. I'm recording everything, staying hidden around the corner, watching my cheating wife's world begin to crumble. It's not what it looks like, Derek stammers. Really, because it looks like you're screwing your business partner in a hotel room while I'm at home planning our anniversary dinner. The elevator arrives with a soft ding. Other hotel guests are gathering in the hallway, evacuating their rooms, and now they're all staring at this domestic drama playing out in front of them. Patricia, please. Marta finally speaks. Let's not make a scene. A scene? Patricia laughs. But there's no humor in it. You're worried about a scene. You're sleeping with my husband and you're worried about embarrassing yourself. Security arrives then trying to manage the evacuation, but the damage is done. Patricia storms off, leaving Derek and Marta standing there like actors who've forgotten their lines. I slip away before they can spot me, but I have everything I need. The video, the confrontation, the public humiliation. Phase 2 is complete. Time for the real war to begin. The fallout from Tuesday's hotel encounter spreads faster than gossip at a high school reunion. By Thursday morning, I'm hearing whispers in the faculty lounge about some scandal at Marta's agency. By Friday, Claudia calls me directly. Simon, I think you should know, she says, her voice careful. There are rumors going around about Marta and Derek. What kind of rumors? I ask, playing innocent. That they're involved. Patricia Graham is telling everyone who will listen that she caught them together at a hotel. That's ridiculous, I say, injecting just the right amount of disbelief into my voice. Marta would never. I know, but Simon, Patricia's not just Derek's wife. Her family owns Morrison Construction. They're the agency's biggest client. I let that sink in for a moment. What does that mean for the agency? It means if Patricia convinces her father to pull their account, Marta and Derek are finished. After I hang up, I allow myself a small smile. I didn't plan for Patricia to be connected to the AY's biggest client. That's just beautiful irony. But I'm not done yet. That evening, Marta comes home looking like she's been through a blender. Her usually perfect hair is limp, her makeup smudged. She drops her purse by the door and slumps into a kitchen chair. Rough day? I ask. The worst. She looks up at me, and for a moment, I see the woman I married 20 years ago, vulnerable, uncertain. Simon, if I told you I made a terrible mistake, would you forgive me? Here it comes. The confession, the tears, the plea for understanding. Part of me, a small part, wants to take her in my arms and pretend none of this happened. But that part is overwhelmed by the cold anger that's been building for weeks. What kind of mistake? I ask. She starts crying, then ugly sobs that shake her whole body. I've been seeing Derek. We've been having an affair. I sit down across from her, keeping my expression neutral. How long? 3 months, maybe 4. I don't know why I did it. I was feeling old, invisible. Derek made me feel young again. And you decided our marriage was worth less than feeling young. No, that's not Simon. I love you. I've always loved you. This thing with Derek, it was just physical. It didn't mean anything. It meant enough for you to lie to me every day for 4 months. She reaches across the table for my hand, but I pull away. I ended it, she says desperately. After what happened at the hotel, I told Derek, we're done. Patricia's threatening to destroy the agency. Derek's talking about leaving his wife, but I told him I want to save our marriage. What did Derek say about that? He's angry. He thinks I'm abandoning him. But Simon, you have to believe me. I choose you. I choose our family. I study her face, noting the desperation, the fear. She's not just afraid of losing me. She's afraid of losing everything. Her job, her reputation, her comfortable life. I need time to think, I tell her. How much time? I don't know. Maybe you should stay at Victoria's for a while. The suggestion hits her like a physical blow. You're kicking me out. I'm asking for space. There's a difference. She packs a bag that night, crying the whole time. I watch from the doorway, feeling nothing. The woman I loved is gone, replaced by this stranger who traded our marriage for hotel room adventures with a man who drives a classic car and tells her she's special. After she leaves, I pour myself a scotch and start planning phase 3. Derek Graham thinks he can walk away from this mess unscathed. He's about to learn otherwise. The next morning, I drive to Derek's office building. His Mustang is in the parking garage, but it looks different. Someone has keyed the word cheater into the driver's side door and poured sugar in the gas tank. The car won't start. I watch from across the street as Derek discovers the damage, his face red with rage. He calls a tow truck, paces around the car, makes angry phone calls. When the tow truck arrives, I follow it to the repair shop. Excuse me, I tell the mechanic. That Mustang they just brought in, the owner's a friend of mine. What happened to it? The mechanic shakes his head. Someone really had it in for this guy. Keyed, sugar in the tank, brake fluid on the paint job. Going to cost him at least $5,000 to fix. I make sympathetic noises and leave, but I'm smiling. I didn't vandalize Derek's car. That was someone else. Probably Patricia or one of her friends. But I'm happy to let Derek think I'm responsible. That afternoon, Derek shows up at my house. He's driving a rental car, a basic sedan that looks pathetic compared to his usual ride. He pounds on my front door like he's trying to break it down. Open up, Arden. I know you're in there. I take my time answering, making sure to look calm and collected when I finally open the door. Derek, what brings you by? You know perfectly well what brings me by. You destroyed my car. Did I? That's a serious accusation. Do you have any proof? His face is purple with rage. Don't play games with me. You found out about Marta and me, and now you're trying to ruin my life. Your life seems to be ruining itself just fine without my help. I heard Patricia's family is pulling their account from the agency. That must be stressful. You sanctimonious bastard. You think you're so much better than me. Your wife came to me because she was bored out of her mind. You want to know what she told me about you? Not particularly. She said you were like having love with a corpse. No passion, no excitement, just going through the motions. The words are designed to hurt, and they do. But I don't let it show on my face. Is that why you're here, Derek? To share marital advice? Because I have some for you, too. When your wife divorces you and takes half of everything, remember that it was worth it for 4 months with a woman who just told you she chooses her boring husband over you. His face goes white. Marta told you that? She told me a lot of things, including how you begged her to leave me and how disappointed you were when she refused. It's a guess, but Derek's expression tells me I'm right. You're pathetic. He snarls. Maybe, but I'm pathetic and married. You're just pathetic. He takes a step toward me, hands clenched into fists. For a moment, I think he might actually try to hit me. Instead, he spits on my doorstep and stalks back to his rental car. This isn't over, he calls out. Yes, it is, I reply. You just don't know it yet. That night, I send an anonymous email to the partners at Derek's agency detailing his affair with a married colleague and the resulting loss of their biggest client. I include Patricia's contact information and suggests they might want to hear her side of the story. By Monday morning, Derek Graham is unemployed. The agency fires Derek on Monday morning. By Tuesday, the story's all over their industry. The hot-shot account manager who destroyed his career for an affair. Marta calls me in tears, begging to come home. They're blaming me, too, she sobs over the phone. They think I seduced Derek to sabotage the Morrison account. It's insane. Why would they think that? Because Patricia's been telling everyone I'm some kind of corporate spy. She's convinced her father that I deliberately broke up her marriage to hurt their business. Are you going to be fired, too? I don't know. They've suspended me pending an investigation. Simon, I need to come home. I can't deal with this alone. The investigation will be easier if we're not living together. It looks better. Since when do you care how things look? Since my wife's affair became public knowledge. There's silence on the line. Then I thought you forgave me. I said I needed time to think. I'm still thinking. How much more time? I'll let you know. I hang up and immediately call my lawyer, Jim Hendress. Jim's an old friend from law school, now a partner at one of the city's top divorce firms. Simon, I heard about Marta. I'm sorry. Don't be. I need to discuss my options. You're thinking about divorce. I'm thinking about protecting myself. If Marta loses her job, she's going to need financial support. I want to know what I'm looking at. Jim runs through the numbers. Illinois is a no-fault state, so Marta's affair won't affect the division of assets, but her loss of income could mean alimony payments for years. There is one thing that might help, Jim says. If you can prove she committed fraud or wasted marital assets during the affair, expensive hotels, gifts, things like that, you might be able to recoup some of those costs. I think about the hotel receipts, the new lingerie, the expensive dinners. I might have some documentation. Bring me everything you have. We'll see what we can do. That afternoon, I get an unexpected visitor. Patricia Graham, looking like she hasn't slept in days, stands on my doorstep holding a manila envelope. Mrs. Graham, this is a surprise. May I come in? I think we need to talk. I lead her to the living room offering coffee. She declines. She sits on the edge of the sofa, clutching the envelope like a lifeline. I know you were at the hotel that day, she says without preamble. My blood goes cold, but I keep my expression neutral. I'm sorry. The gas leak. There was no gas leak. I called the hotel to complain about the evacuation and they told me someone phoned in a false alarm. Someone who wanted to flush out the guests in room 1547. I say nothing waiting. It was smart, she continues. I never would have caught them otherwise. Derek's too careful and your wife's too smart, but you forced them into the open. Why are you here, Mrs. Graham? She opens the envelope and pulls out a stack of photographs, hotel receipts, credit card statements, phone records. I've been investigating my husband's affair since I got suspicious last month. I have evidence going back 6 months, longer than your wife admitted to you. The photos show Derek and Marta at restaurants, hotels, even what looks like a weekend getaway to Wisconsin. The receipts total thousands of dollars, all charged to Derek's credit cards. I'm divorcing Derek, Patricia says. But I want more than just half of his assets. I want him destroyed, and I want your wife destroyed, too. What are you proposing? A partnership. You help me expose everything they've done, and I'll make sure you get copies of all this evidence. Think about how it would look in divorce court. Your wife carrying out a 6-month affair, lying about the timeline, spending your family's money on hotel rooms and romantic getaways. I study the photographs, my mind racing. Marta told me 4 months, but Patricia's evidence shows it started much earlier. The lies run deeper than I thought. What kind of help are you looking for? Derek's been calling me, begging for a reconciliation. He wants to meet tomorrow night to explain everything. I want you there, hidden, recording the conversation. When he confesses to the affair, admits how long it's been going on, I want it all on tape. Why do you need me for that? Because Derek's not stupid. He'll suspect I'm recording if I'm alone, but if you're there as backup, hidden somewhere, he'll think he's safe. It's risky, but the potential payoff is enormous. Where's the meeting? Our house. Derek's coming at 8 o'clock. I'll leave the back door unlocked. You can hide in the study. There's a closet with a perfect view of the living room. I consider the proposal. It's borderline illegal. Definitely unethical. But Derek and Marta destroyed my marriage with lies and betrayal. Turnabout seems fair. I'll do it, I tell her. Patricia smiles for the first time since she arrived. Good, because I have one more surprise for you. She pulls out a final photograph. It shows Derek and Marta in what looks like a jewelry store examining rings. This was taken last week after your wife supposedly ended the affair. They were looking at engagement rings, Simon. Derek's planning to leave me and your wife's planning to leave you. The photograph hits me like a physical blow. While Marta was crying in our kitchen, confessing her affair and begging for forgiveness. She was secretly planning her future with Derek. I thought you should know, Patricia says quietly. Before you decide whether to take her back after she leaves, I sit alone in my house staring at the photograph. The woman in the picture, smiling as she examines diamond rings with her lover, is a stranger. The Marta I married, the mother of my children, the woman I loved for 20 years, she's gone. Time for the final phase. Wednesday night, I park 3 blocks from Derek's house and walk through the shadows to his backyard. The neighborhood is quiet. Expensive homes set far apart with mature trees providing cover. Patricia's left the back door unlocked as promised. I slip inside, my heart hammering. I've never done anything like this before. Breaking into someone's house, planning to secretly record a conversation. But the photograph of Marta and Derek shopping for engagement rings burned away the last of my moral reservations. The study is exactly where Patricia described it, with a walk-in closet that offers a perfect view of the living room through partially open doors. I position myself in the back corner, phone ready to record, and wait. At exactly 8 o'clock, I hear Derek's key in the front door. He calls out Patricia's name, his voice echoing through the house. I'm in the living room, she responds. I hear his footsteps crossing the hardwood floor, then see him enter my field of view. He looks terrible, unshaven, wearing wrinkled clothes like he's been sleeping in his car. The confident, arrogant man I met at office parties is gone, replaced by someone desperate and defeated. Thank you for agreeing to see me, he says, sitting across from Patricia. I haven't agreed to anything except this conversation. Patricia, I know I screwed up. I know I hurt you, but we can fix this. Can we? How do we fix 6 months of lies, Derek? How do we fix you planning to leave me for another woman? Derek's face goes pale. Who told you that? Does it matter? I know about the ring shopping, Derek. I know you and Marta were planning your future together while lying to both of our spouses. I start recording, my phone capturing every word. It wasn't like that, Derek says weakly. Then what was it like? Explain it to me. Derek runs his hands through his hair, looking around the room like he's searching for an escape route. I fell in love with her. Okay. I didn't plan it. It just happened. And yes, we talked about being together, but what? But she chose her husband. After you caught us at the hotel, she got scared. She ended things and went back to Simon. Just like that. Just like that. She said she realized she loved him more than she thought. That I was just a midlife crisis. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. Even in Patricia's living room, even after everything that's happened, hearing Derek confirm that Marta chose me over him brings a complicated mix of emotions. So, you're telling me, Patricia continues, that you destroyed our marriage for a woman who dumped you the moment things got complicated? I'm telling you I made a mistake. A huge stupid mistake. And I want to fix it by doing what? By being the husband you deserve. By rebuilding your trust. By spending the rest of my life making this up to you. Patricia laughs, but there's no humor in it. Derek, you don't have the rest of your life. You don't have a job. You don't have a career. And after tonight, you won't have a wife. What do you mean? I mean, I've already filed for divorce. I mean, I've already given my lawyer every piece of evidence I could find about your affair. Bank records, hotel receipts, photographs, phone records, everything. Derek's face crumples. Patricia, please. I'm not finished. I've also shared that evidence with Simon Arden. Your lover's husband deserves to know the truth about how long you two have been lying to him. You did what? He's a good man, Derek. He deserves better than what you and Marta put him through. Derek stands up abruptly, pacing to the window. You vindictive witch. You want to destroy everyone, don't you? I want justice. There's a difference. Justice? You want to ruin Marta's life because you can't handle the fact that I fell in love with someone else. I want to ruin Marta's life because she helped you lie to me for 6 months because she knew you were married and didn't care. 'Cause she's just as guilty as you are. Derek spins around, his face twisted with rage. You know what your problem is, Patricia? You're cold. You're calculating. You never loved me. You just loved the idea of being married to someone successful. And you never loved me either. You loved my family's money and the business connections that came with marrying me. At least I'm honest about it now. Are you? Because you're still lying, Derek. You're still pretending this affair was some great love story instead of what it really was. Two selfish people who didn't care who they hurt. Derek moves toward her and for a moment I think he might get violent. Instead he stops in front of her chair looking down at her with contempt. I hope you're happy, he says. I hope destroying my life and Marta's life makes you feel better about yourself. It does, Patricia replies calmly. It really does. Derek storms out, slamming the front door behind him. I wait 5 minutes before emerging from the closet, my phone full of recorded evidence. Did you get what you needed? Patricia asks more than I expected. She nods, looking suddenly exhausted. Good, because now comes the hard part. What's that? Deciding what to do with it. I drive home in silence, my mind processing everything I've heard. Derek's confession, his admission that the affair lasted 6 months, his confirmation that he and Marty were planning a future together. It's all there, recorded, undeniable. But there's something else on the recording that I can't stop thinking about. Derek's claim that Marta chose me over him. That she ended the affair because she realized she loved me more than she thought. Is that true? Or is it just another lie? Another manipulation? I'm about to find out. When I get home, Marta's car is in the driveway. She's sitting at the kitchen table, still wearing her work clothes, looking like she's been waiting for hours. I lost my job, she says without preamble. They fired me this afternoon. I sit down across from her, studying her face. I'm sorry. Are you? Because I think you wanted this to happen. Why would I want my wife to lose her job? Because it's punishment. Because you want me to suffer for what I did. I pull out my phone and set it on the table between us. Before we continue this conversation, there's something you need to hear. I play Derek's recorded confession, his admission that the affair lasted 6 months, not 4. His confirmation that they were shopping for engagement rings. His claim that Marta ended things because she chose me over him. Marta's face goes through a series of expressions as she listens. Shock, fear, resignation, and finally something that might be relief. "So now you know everything," she says when the recording ends. "Do I? Because Derek seems to think you chose me over him. Is that true?" She looks down at her hands, tears starting to fall. "Yes." "Why?" "Because I realized what I was about to lose. My family, my home, my life with you, Derek, was exciting. But you're your home, Simon. Your safety and comfort and 20 years of shared history. That's not love, Marta. That's convenience. No, it's both. I do love you. I never stopped loving you, even when I was with him, but you were planning to leave me anyway. I was confused. Derek was pushing me to make a choice. And I thought I wanted the excitement, the passion. But when Patricia caught us, when everything fell apart, I realized that passion fades. What we have is stronger than that." I study her face, looking for signs of deception. But all I see is exhaustion and genuine regret. "The ring shopping was Derek's idea," she continues. "I went along with it because I was caught up in the fantasy, but I never would have gone through with it. How do I know that? Because I'm here. Because I'm fighting for our marriage instead of running away with him." We sit in silence for a long moment. Finally, I speak. 6 months, Marta. You lied to me for 6 months and then you lied about how long you'd been lying. I know you spent thousands of our money on hotel rooms and romantic getaways. I know you planned a future with another man while sleeping in our bed and eating at our table. I know she's crying harder now, her whole body shaking. I know I destroyed everything. I know you'll probably never trust me again. But Simon, please don't give up on us. Not yet. I look at this woman who betrayed me, who lied to me, who nearly left me for a man with a classic car and a smooth line. I should feel anger, hatred, the desire for revenge. Instead, I feel tired. I need you to do something for me, I tell her. Anything. I need you to call Derek right now in front of me and tell him that if he ever contacts you again, I'll release this recording to everyone we know. His family, his friends, potential employers, everyone. She nods and picks up her phone. Derek answers on the first ring. Marta, thank God. Patricia told me she gave evidence to your husband. We need to Derek, stop. Marta's voice is steady. Stronger than I've heard it in weeks. It's over. Completely over. If you contact me again, Simon will make sure everyone hears your confession about our affair. What confession? The one he recorded at your house tonight. There's silence on the line. Then you're choosing him again. I'm choosing my marriage. Goodbye, Derek. She hangs up and looks at me. What now? Now we see if we can rebuild something from the wreckage. It won't be easy. Trust once broken is harder to repair than it is to destroy. But as I look at Marta, really look at her, maybe for the first time in months, I see something I'd forgotten was there. I see the woman I fell in love with 20 years ago, scared and flawed and human, but fighting for us instead of running away. Maybe that's enough to start with. 6 months later, Derek Graham is working at a small marketing firm in another state. His career and marriage, both casualties of his choices. Patricia Graham has moved to California, taking her family's construction business with her. And Marta and I are still here, still married, still working through the aftermath of her betrayal. Some days are harder than others. Some days I catch myself wondering if she's telling the truth when she says she's working late. Some days she catches me watching her with suspicious eyes. But we're trying. We're both trying. Because sometimes the most radical thing you can do isn't revenge. Sometimes it's forgiveness.